What's up, everybody? Monster Master Godzilla here, and welcome to a new discussion, and welcome to my first video when I'm in cosplay. So you can tell by my cosplay, I'm the Riddler. And this cosplay has something to do with today's topic. So Cole, I hope you're watching this, and also Cole McCoy, my friend Cole McCoy. I hope you're watching this. Also, if you haven't, you gotta subscribe to him. He's on the Dark Side TV. We discuss many topics involving this one, which we're about to discuss. So today's topic, we'll be talking about: will James Gunn save the DC universe? Okay, here we go. Now this is going to be really tough, everybody. I mean, we all know that James Gunn is about to redo the whole entire DC universe, starting with rebooting Superman again. Yeah, and also Henry Cavill is out as Superman, and I don't know what to say, folks. I really hope James Gunn knows what the hell he's doing with the DC universe. And as far as what I hope that to God that James Gunn knows what he's doing is that one thing I definitely hoped about is that I want him to make his. I hope he makes his DC cinematic universe consistent, like Marvel. Because when the DC Extended Universe first appeared, it began with Man of Steel, which was a great start. And then supposedly Zack Snyder, he had planned on making all those movies separately, like taking their time the DC Extended Universe had the opportunity, to explore, do what Marvel did, which, explore the entire universe, like build up and live up and build and lead up to stuff like the big stuff like the Justice League. But instead, Warner Bros. Decided to have Zack Snyder rush through all the movies. Instead, the DC Universe decided to rush through all the movies and made this sloppy, jumbled up mess. Even worse than some of the X-Men movies. Which a lot of you, including myself, has been a bit disappointed by that. I mean, that's not the DC Universe I expected for a cinematic universe. For me, for James Gunn, ever since he directed The Suicide Squad, not the one with Jared Leto, simply titled Suicide Squad, he remade it and changed it and added "the" in the title, saying The Suicide Squad. And he made a show on HBO Max that relates to that movie called Peacemaker. So now James Gunn is becoming like Kevin Feige for DC. After he finished directing the whole Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So now, I really, really hope that James Gunn knows what the hell he's doing with DC. I mean, I understand he's very creative and all, but one thing I definitely would hope is that he makes characters that have yet to be in. I would love to see. What I want from him is to have a proper set of movies. I mean, a well-written. I want to see like a well-written, well-directed, and a very consistent set of movies that lead up to a proper Justice League. Like we have all the characters, consisting of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Green Lantern, and the Flash, all had their own separate movies, and then they eventually come together for the Justice League, like how Marvel did with the Avengers. But except do not rush through all the movies. I mean, the DC Extended Universe had rushed through all the movies because Marvel was already at its peak. But so the DC Extended Universe, it was ruined by studio interference. That's why That's why Henry Cavill left the role, had stepped down from the role of Superman. And now we're getting, and on related topic, and on the related thing, we're getting The Flash, which Ezra Miller, and then Ezra Miller's gotten a bad reputation, because I honest to God thought he's good in the role of The Flash, but until I realized his true colors, that he was a sexual predator. Yeah, and I hope, and now that, and they decided not to do any reshoots since they already spent too much money trying to film this whole thing, and I really hope The Flash was worth all that, was worth a watch. And supposedly The Flash is the key to James Gunn restarting the whole DC universe. And I think after Ezra Miller's done with The Flash, they're going to have to get a new, different actor playing The Flash. And many of the actors will be replaced as The Flash. Many of the actors will be replaced as the Justice League, which means we'll get a new Superman. That's not going to be Henry Cavill. And Ben Affleck is definitely out as Batman. And one thing I'm most disappointed is that Robert Pattinson, who is in the role of Batman, he's not going to be part of James Gunn's DC universe. Why? They could have used him. They could have used James Gunn could have used his version of Batman and used his movie as the building block, the first building block of the James Gunn's DC universe, which that would have made a lot of sense. And I mean, kind of make it like Iron Man. Like, Iron Man was the first building block for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we didn't know there was going to be a Marvel Cinematic Universe until The Incredible Hulk came out, and where Robert Downey Jr. made a cameo at the end. I mean, that would have made a lot of sense. I mean, think about it this way. The Batman, Robert Pattinson's version of Batman is young, and he doesn't know, and he wasn't ready for aliens or monsters. Because knowing Batman, he's not known for battling monsters or supernatural beings or even aliens. It's mostly known for Superman or Wonder Woman. I mean, if James Gunn were to fix DC's mistake, I say, James Gunn, if you're watching this, I want you to, don't rush through all the movies to make a proper Justice League. I want you to do what Marvel did, but have it in your own, very own direction. I really want it to be where all the characters, including Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, have their own movies before getting together for Justice League. I just don't want that. I don't want it to be worse than what Zack Snyder did. I don't want it to be the same. I don't want it to be history repeated, like how Warner Brothers screwed up the DC Extended Universe. I really don't. It just don't work that way. I just don't want that. I mean, just listen, folks. Warner Brothers, this is how you make that's how you make a proper DC Cinematic Universe. And, you can stick to making standalone movies outside of the DC Cinematic Universe, but only bring it all together if you're going to do, a multiverse. You can still... James Gunn had confirmed that certain movies like Teen Titans Go to the Movies, Joker, and The Batman are considered Elseworlds. Yes, you can make... For a DC Cinematic Universe, you can have the mainstream DC universe. You can have the whole DC Cinematic Universe while having standalone movies not related to that. Just make it like Elseworlds. You can even bring them all together for a multiverse if you wish. If you were to make a live-action Superman Red Son, or Injustice, or even Batman Beyond. I would have loved to see a Batman Beyond movie. I mean, for once, I really want to see a good Batman Beyond movie. Maybe with Michael Keaton in it. I mean, think about it, people. I mean, will James Gunn save the DC universe? I certainly would hope so. I'm just not going to hold my breath on it. I mean, I got a feeling some of his movies will be dark. Some of his movies will not be so dark. Because DC is not always dark and gritty. It's just certain things were not meant to be dark and gritty. Like Aquaman's not meant to be dark. Superman's not meant to be dark. The Flash wasn't known to be dark. It's just Batman was known to be dark. I mean, just try to be... I mean, it's just what I want from James Gunn if he was to do a proper DC cinematic universe. Is also like to explore, build up, and lead up to big stuff like Justice League. Besides all that, I want him to branch out from dark and gritty, kind of like what he did with Suicide Squad. Because Suicide Squad, it had some feels of Guardians of the Galaxy, where it was funny. It has moments where they had famous music in there, like make characters, relatable. Make certain characters that have yet to be in a movie relatable. Like, I would love to see, kind of like how the Suicide Squad featured King Shark, and he was very funny. One of those characters that stole the show. Even Polka Dot Man, who is obscure, managed to steal the show. And I like to see more obscure characters that need a new movie. I mean, I want to see a proper Green Lantern movie. A better Green Lantern movie than the one with Ryan Reynolds. And I hope to God that he's listening, that James Gunn, if he makes a proper Green Lantern movie, I want it to be a little less CGI. And, only use the CGI for the powers, while the costume is just a costume. And no CGI, no motion capture. Just CGI for the powers. And some aliens. And I really hope it's not too overused. And furthermore, he also said something about making TV shows connected to the movies as well. I hope that that's all true, because Marvel's been doing really well with Disney Plus, with their TV shows connected to the MCU movies. And personally, I really hope he knows what he's doing with all that. Other than wearing the Riddler, I like both Marvel and DC, but I've always been more of a Marvel fan. Yes, I know it's weird that I'm dressed as the Riddler and I'm a Marvel fan, but I like both Marvel and DC, but I lean more towards Marvel, and I dress like the Riddler because I'm a cosplayer and I can be whatever I want. And it's fun being the Riddler, and I thought it was a good fit for me. And I really hope you're enjoying this video and this discussion, especially with me dressed as the Riddler. All right, so back to the discussion. So far, we've been through a lot of. And just remember, folks, we've been through so many good DC movies and a lot of bad ones. And DC has always been hit or miss in terms of movies, where Marvel has always at its peak with movies. It's just DC really has a hard time making good movies. It's easier to make a bad movie than a good movie. And so that's why a lot of DC movies had been hit or miss, and the two characters that get more movies than all others were Batman and Superman, which they've already been done to death. And I hope, as for James Gunn when he was rebooting Superman again, I really hope it's not another origin story. For Christ's sake, we don't need another origin story. It's all boring. We because we already saw like Superman's planet Krypton getting destroyed too many times. Like, make it like the Batman. They skipped over the origin story. They rebooted Batman without completely starting over, where they skipped over the origin story, so having him set 2 years in. So I hope that James Gunn does the same for Superman, because we don't need another origin story. I mean, Spider-Man Homecoming skipped over the origin story. I mean, if it worked for Batman as Spider-Man, they should do the same for Superman, because we don't need another origin story. I mean, do origin stories for characters who have yet to be in a movie. Or even reboot some of the obscure characters that had failed film. Like I said about having a new Green Lantern, maybe a proper Jonah Hex without Megan Fox or Josh Brolin. Maybe a proper... Like, I'd like to see a better Steel. Maybe Steel would be better in another Superman movie as an extra, which Steel would have been done better if it was made today, especially the one with Shaquille O'Neal, which we won't talk about that one. And I want, for Batman movies, I want to see like better interpretations of certain villains, like Mr. Freeze, and villains who have yet to be in a DC movie. Like, I want to see like more Superman villains that have yet to be in a movie, other than Lex Luthor, Zod, and Doomsday. I mean, I would like to see Brainiac and more of a Darkseid, which I want to see Darkseid in a better movie. I mean, I want to see him in more movies aside from the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, which was a million times better than Joss Whedon, who butchered in Joss Whedon's cut. I mean, Joss Whedon just did not do a good job with the Justice League. He kind of watered it down and it did not work out. So Zack Snyder, I mean, for Jared Leto, I mean, he don't need to be in... I mean, he's definitely out as the Joker. I say he should be out as the Joker for good. I mean, he's good as the Joker in my honest opinion. He just didn't do enough to win me over. And for some of the actors, they need to be recast. I mean, like, it's just certain characters are just not right for their roles. Like Black Canary. I mean, the actress playing Black Canary in Harley Quinn Birds of Prey is good. I just don't like her, honestly. I just feel she's just not right for the role. Like, I want a proper Birds of Prey movie without Harley Quinn. And as for Harley Quinn Birds of Prey, it doesn't feel anything like Birds of Prey. It feels more like a Harley Quinn movie. Just put it in there because she's a cash cow. I mean, take out Harley Quinn and replace her with Batgirl, and you get a proper Birds of Prey movie. Or take out Huntress and Black Canary, and you get a Gotham City Sirens movie, which would have been so much better than what we got. I mean, it's just, I'm kind of a comic book purist in some cases. Just saying, because, I mean, like, the fact that the DC Extended Universe made Doomsday resurrected, who is General Zod, resurrected as Doomsday. Oh, holy fucking Christ. That was the dumbest direction they ever made. And, I mean, and also the trailers for The Flash, they actually show us Zod. And an awesome Supergirl. I mean, I really hope that one's worth all that trouble. And I'm hoping to God, because the return of Michael Keaton as Batman, oh man, I hope he steals the show for me. Like, make the whole movie awesome. Make it all worth all that watching. And for Shazam! Fury of the Gods, I mean, I'm not going to hold my breath on that. It's kind of the trailers have been somewhere in the middle. I mean, it's nice to see Shazam get yet another movie other than the first. But I just feel, because the DC Extended Universe is going downhill, that I just have no. I'm just not going to hold my breath on Shazam or The Flash. Especially now that James Gunn is taking over and restarting the whole DC Cinematic Universe. So, my final thoughts are, will James Gunn save the DC Universe? I'm not sure, honestly. I really hope he knows what he's doing, and I would say yes, but I'm on the fence with it. I mean, I really loved his Guardians of the Galaxy movies, which Guardians of the Galaxy is one of my favorite movies. I would watch the first one a lot. I get a laugh out of it. I loved all the music he puts in there. But for him making DC, I'm really on the fence with it. I mean, I really hope it was worth it, all that trouble he would go through. And I hope he knows what he's doing. I mean, I expect him to make a proper cinematic universe leading up to a good Justice League. And branching out from being dark and gritty to light in tone and back to dark and gritty again. I hope that's all my wishes are coming true. So, with that said, I really hope he could save the DC universe. So, that's it for today. And I hope you enjoyed this discussion video. And what are your thoughts on James Gunn directing, taking over DC? And what are your wishes for James Gunn directing DC? Like, what are your expectations? What are your wishes for the DC Cinematic Universe that James Gunn is making? So, that's all I have to say for you guys. And what movies do you want to see being made? Like, what characters do you wish could have made a movie? And what storylines do you wish to be made into a movie and stuff? And that's all I have to say, folks. And So leave your comments down below, and I'll check you out in a minute. So, like I said, what are your wishes for the DC Cinematic Universe by James Gunn? And what are your thoughts on it? So please comment down below, like, subscribe, favorite, follow me on everything, Monster Master Godzilla, and I'll catch you later. Peace.